Well, I am finally back where I belong. Welcome. If you're new here, my name is Scott. I am a nomad who lives out of a van, and I travel around the West Coast, mostly looking for better weather. I try to be in cooler temperatures. I don't like cold temperatures and I don't like hot temperatures. So I travel around to try to put myself in the best weather possible for me. And in doing so, I often get to experience some pretty spectacular places, something like what we're in today. So today we are in Northern California in the city of Eureka, and Eureka is the capital of Humboldt County, and this is way north. I think we're about a 7-hour drive north of San Francisco, so we're probably closer to the Oregon border than we are to San Francisco here. I really like this area, and I am in one of my favorite parks. I think one of the nicest parks I've ever been to, of any city park I've ever seen. This is Sequoia Park, and is right next to a zoo that has a little skywalk here that you can take. Now, I haven't been on the skywalk. I'm not so great with heights, and I don't really like zoos so much. So when I come out here, I just enjoy the park here, and it's just an awesome park because we've got all these towering redwood trees to get to look at and to walk under. Well, since I'm a nomad, people like to ask me where my home base is, and honestly, I just don't really have one. But if I were to choose one, it would probably be right here in Eureka, or at least Humboldt County. This county is really something special. Of course, it's known for the redwood trees, among other things, but the redwood trees are the things I know it for. And the weather's pretty good most of the year. It's cool most of the year, although it does get pretty cold and rainy in the wintertime. So generally speaking, I don't stay here in the winter, although I would kind of like to this coming winter, but we'll see about that. But you know, I like a cooler area, so that's what this gives me. The great thing is we are very close to the ocean as well, so not only do we have all these great towering redwoods around, we're just a really short drive to get out to the Pacific Ocean, which is one of my other favorite things. So putting all that together means this is a place that I kind of wish was my home base, but even though it isn't, and I don't really have a home base, it still feels a little bit like home whenever I come back here to Humboldt, and that's why I try to stay here as much as possible. Not only does the weather suit me pretty well, I just like the whole vibe here in Humboldt, and especially around Eureka here. Just an awesome place. So today I'm just going to try to soak up a little bit of this that I've been missing. I do really miss these redwood trees, so being able to be back here and taking a little walk around today is all I really have planned. Of all the places I have traveled, I have just never seen a city park as nice as this Sequoia Park is here. And we're just a few miles from downtown. We're basically right in the middle of Eureka. There's houses all around here. So it's just boggles my mind at how nice this is out here. It's just beautiful here. It's beautiful, but it's also chilly. I think it's only about 55 degrees out today, and I have some coffee waiting for me back in my van, so I think I'm just gonna mosey on back to the van so I can drink up and warm up a little bit. Now, is my coffee still warm? I I lost the tops for both of my mugs, so I'm just using my smaller but larger diameter mug as a lid in this case. I don't think I permanently lost the tops. It's just I moved into this van about 3 months ago, less than 3 months ago, and I'm still not fully moved in. So I've got stuff that's not really been unpacked because I don't really have a place to put stuff. I'm in desperate need of storage in here. If I had a little more storage, I could move in fully and kind of be a little bit more comfortable. Not that I'm not, comfortable. I've been comfortable. It's just having to kind of hunt for stuff has not been that easy. But I think this worked. I think my coffee's still warm because I'm still seeing steam off of it. It's pretty good. With how nice this park is, it is very busy, which should be no surprise. Being one of the nicest city parks in the world, of course people are going to flock to it, especially if you live around here. So it can get a little tight for parking if you do come out here. I'm parked on the street. There's usually plenty of street parking, but even in the middle of the week like it is right now, it can get pretty tight out here for parking. There's a school across the street as well, so if the school's got like a baseball game or something going on, and if the zoo has some special thing going on, it can get kind of snarly down here traffic-wise, which is a bit unusual for Eureka. Eureka is pretty easy traffic-wise. It's not a whole lot of heavy traffic, unless you're right downtown on Route 101. But, so it's a nice place to be. If you are going to be anywhere around Eureka, I definitely encourage you to come out here to Sequoia Park because it's just unbelievably nice. And if it weren't quite so chilly, I would still be walking around out there. It's funny, I actually like 55 degrees. I'm most comfortable in 55, especially if I've got a nice, flannel shirt on like I'm wearing right now. But I always forget that as soon as you get into the park there, under all those big redwood trees, it's at least 5 degrees or more cooler. So I probably should have put a jacket or sweater on. And then I would have been comfortable. But, out here, outside of the trees, I'm back to being nice and comfortable now. I should make some breakfast because I'm a little hungry. But in all honesty, I've already eaten breakfast this morning. This will be my second one. I need some more protein though. There wasn't a whole lot of protein in my breakfast this morning. I just had a little muffin and some yogurt. So I'm going to make a little egg burrito. I've been getting away from eating eggs because of the price of them, which is kind of silly because I've been down south where there's Trader Joe's, and Trader Joe's never raised their egg prices through that whole egg debacle that was going on. So there's no real reason I should have been cutting back on eggs. I feel best when I eat eggs in the morning or really any time during the day. So I need to get back to eating more eggs, but now I am not in an area that has Trader Joe's. There are no Trader Joe's anywhere in Humboldt County, I don't think anyway. So I think the closest one's like a 3 or 4 hour drive away. So I'm hoping egg prices are not crazy. They were starting to come down, but I haven't really been paying attention to them in other stores because I've just been buying them at Trader Joe's because they're the same price as always. One thing I need to put some attention to is to my stove here. One of the things about moving into this van, I changed a few things and upgraded my stove, and I have been really happy with the stove. I had an earlier model which I really liked, and then I went away from that, and I've always wanted to get another one, and I'm happy to now have one again. And this one's improved because they improved the propane regulator on it, which has been great. Although I'm still using just the little green bottles, so I need to do something about this. I need to stop using the green bottles and go back to using my bulk propane tank. So that's one thing I need to get to. But the other is that, and I don't know if you can tell this, but because I'm parked on the street here, there's a big slant in the streets, and which is normal, right? I mean, it rains a lot up here, so they crown the roads to make the rain run off to the gutters instead of just pooling up in the middle of the street, which would be dangerous for cars driving through. But that means if I'm just parking here like normal, my stove is not going to be level. And my old stove, I had some adjustable feet on it, and I just have not gotten around to putting some adjustable feet on this stove. I have a couple of ideas on how to do that. I just haven't gotten around to doing it yet. I'm kind of burnt out on working on the van. Like I was mentioning, I need some shelving, but I'm just not in the mood to be doing any work. But something like this is a little bit more serious because obviously if I've got hot stuff and an open flame, I don't want this sliding around. So what I've been doing until I get the gumption to actually get some feet on this is I've been using some magnets as shims, and it's been working out okay. I do have to be careful to just, not knock the stove around, but it does allow me to kind of shim up the front of this to make this a little bit more level so that when I put my pan on it, it doesn't go sliding around, which is important. So, got a couple things I need to do, and I should probably get to the stove thing sooner than later because, again, it's kind of a safety issue, isn't it? A few years back, I was eating nothing but burritos, just morning, lunch, and dinner. Just, I guess that'd be breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? Or morning, noon, and night, either one. There's my poor brain working there. Anyway, I was eating nothing but burritos for every meal. That's easier, isn't it? And then I kind of got away from it, and somebody the other day asked me, why aren't you eating burritos anymore? And probably they were thinking I'm sick of eating burritos because that's all I was eating for so long. But the fact of the matter is, it's not that I'm sick of them. I still like burritos. It's just that I kind of decided I only want to be eating sourdough when it comes to bread. And so I've been trying to do that. And so that's why I haven't really been eating burritos. But maybe it's because they put it in the thought in my head about burritos. I bought a little pack, just a small pack of some just regular flour tortillas. I still eat a lot of corn tortillas. I just have not been buying flour tortillas because I don't know of any flour tortillas that are sourdough. I'm sure they exist, but I haven't seen them. And so I've just been eating sourdough bread, which I like, but that means I've been not eating burritos, which, I've been kind of missing. So, to you who put that into my head about the burritos, I guess thank you, I guess. I'm still trying to just eat sourdough, and I don't think I'm going to be making my own sourdough tortillas, although I guess that is a possibility. But I think, once in a while, maybe I should just go back to buying a little pack of tortillas. One thing I have not been giving up on is some Yellowbird hot sauce. If you haven't tried Yellowbird, this stuff is so good, and this one happens to be my current favorite of their flavors, the jalapeno. It's not very spicy at all. It's just really good. So eating burritos means I can eat more Yellowbird. So I guess thank you again for whoever put that into my head. I can't remember your name off the top of my head. Again, my poor old brain, it's just not been working so good. I'll think of your name in 2 or 3 minutes probably. Or now that I need to remember in 2 or 3 minutes, maybe I'll remember your name tomorrow. And my poor brain forgot to tell you what's in my burritos here. Of course there's eggs, but I also added some cheddar cheese and some cranberry beans. Been trying to eat more cranberry beans lately. I was talking to a friend of mine about beans and the nutritional profile, and I looked up the nutritional profile of cranberry beans, and I was quite pleased with them. So I think they will be my new favorite bean. I've been trying to buy them occasionally, but I think that they're now going to be a staple here in my kitchen. and I just realized I forgot to tell you what coffee I'm drinking. I normally like to drink coffee that is local to the area that I'm in, but I just got back up here to Humboldt, so I have not gotten to pick up any local coffee yet. So I'm still working on coffee from Southern California from a little company called Ragamuffin. I really like this. Somebody asked me if I bought more than one bag, and I did not, and that was probably a little bit of a mistake, but I am back up here where I've got lots of choices of really good local coffee. Some of my favorites are up here, so I will be getting some more local coffee, and I've just got a couple cups left of this one. In fact, I'm kind of thinking I'd like another cup. Should I put the kettle back on? That's the question. Could go for a walk back into the woods or put the kettle on. Which should I do? And the answer is the woods one. Just going to do a quick walk through the park again because I've missed being here. The city of Eureka does an incredible job of keeping up this park. You can tell that the city is quite proud of this park, both by how many people come here, but also just by the lack of trash that you see and the way that they maintain the trails here. Just incredible. It's one of the reasons why I say it's the nicest park I've ever come across in my travels. It's not just the fantastic redwoods, it's just the whole park altogether. Everything about this area is just so nice. Now, there aren't any real difficult trails here in Sequoia Park, but if I'm feeling lazy, I'll just stick to this little ring road that they have. You do have to watch out for cars once in a while, but it's a little bit of an easier walk, and if you have any mobility issues, this would be the way you want to go. So there's a little bit of everything for everybody here. It's another reason why it's a really nice park. I have long lost track of how many times I have been here to Sequoia Park, and I never get tired of this place. Just a fantastic place to be. It's a really good place to be in the middle of summer. You know, it can get as hot as maybe 70 degrees here in Eureka during the summer, so this is a nice place to escape the heat. Well, the plan was to just hang around Sequoia Park here and enjoy being back, but I'm feeling like I should accomplish something, or in other words, I'm feeling guilty for just sitting around. The thing is, I've been sitting around now for a couple of days because I took a little time off when I got back here. The drive back here was really rough on me. I don't know why it was so difficult this time driving up here, but it was tough on me, so I took a little time off and did nothing. So I'm feeling like I shouldn't keep doing nothing for a whole nother day. I still don't want to do any big projects on the van. I'm trying to take some time off of doing projects. But there are a couple little things I could do project-wise that aren't going to be big and involved. One of the things is I kind of want to work on this here. This is a piece of unistrut that I put up here a few days back. I put this up so that I could mount my paper towel holder. I had been holding up my paper towels with a piece of coat hanger, and that really wasn't working out all that well, so I got a real paper towel holder and mounted it up here with the unistrut because this was really easy. I realized I had a piece of unistrut left over from another project, and I realized that it would fit up here without cutting it. Cutting unistrut is kind of a big involved deal, so I didn't want to really cut it, even though it would probably fit up here a little bit better if I chopped a couple inches off of it, but totally fine. The thing is, I mounted this with the existing bolts that were already here. These bolts were for the seat belts, and I removed the seat belts and disposed of them weeks ago. So they work this way on the Unistrut, but I would kind of like the Unistrut to be the other way around, to have the flat side toward me. But the bolts weren't quite long enough for me to do that. So if I got some longer bolts, I could just flip this around, and that would be better. Wouldn't be a difficult job. And also, I need to go to the hardware store because I did buy a new propane fitting, but I ordered the wrong one, and I need to get a correct fitting on the ends. It's got the wrong fitting, so I just need to get a fitting on this so that I can actually use it. So there is a really good hardware store, and it's just a couple blocks away from us here, so we'll head over there, and hopefully we'll get those 3 items and get this taken care of, and then I won't feel like such a lazy bum. There's an RV park behind me, and it's so wide I can't see around it to be able to pull out into traffic comfortably. Why do you have an RV? Buy a minivan. So I've got to take this bolt out of here so I can take it inside and match it up and buy a little longer one, but with the same threads, obviously, right? But this is going to look a little bit funny. The only way I can get this out of here is to use this breaker bar. I bought this breaker bar years ago for my old van. This was my tire iron in my old van. And of course I kept it, not because I need a tire iron in this, but because I already bought it, so why not just keep it? But it actually came in handy with this because since these were bolts that were bolting in the seat belts, they were in there pretty tight. And so I've got just a real limited set of tools. And before I bought this van, I wanted to buy a new set of tools to kind of help with the build out process. I didn't do that. And this is one of those cases where I wished I did. But thankfully, the breaker bar was a good choice for this, being that I needed some really good leverage. I did have to go and buy a socket. I just bought this at a Home Depot. It does take a 14 millimeter socket, and this is the only wrench I have that will fit the socket. So even though I don't really need the leverage in this case, I got to use it because I don't have another 14 millimeter socket anywhere. So why I was saying, wished I would have bought a new set of hand tools like I was thinking about. Oh well. You know, we get by, and this has worked. So I did save myself a little bit of money there, buying something that I don't really need or use on a very regular basis. Okay, well, let's see if I can get lucky and find a little longer bolt. I think I just need about an inch longer. Yeah, 3/4 of an inch or so. Let's see if we get lucky and they've got it. That's it. Now, this is one of those things that can be a little bit frustrating if you let it. Trying to find the parts. Finding the propane parts were very difficult. Just a wall of parts there that everything looks about the same. So it took me a little bit of time to figure that out. Of course, there were lots of employees in there that were quite helpful. So without them, I don't know if I would have gotten out of there today. I'd probably still be wandering around in there. The other thing was getting the right bolts for this little project. I knew that it was probably going to be a metric bolt because this is a Toyota, so it's probably going to be metric. So that was fairly quick and easy. I didn't need any help doing that. I did buy some that I think are maybe slightly too long, so I went ahead and bought some washers to use as spacers just in case they're too long. They're not going to be able to go too far in because if they go too far, they'll hit the outside skin of the van. So that was an extra 55 cents each, which 55 cents times 2 is, with my math skills, that's $1 right there. So I spent an extra $1 that maybe I didn't really need to. Anyway, let's see if this works. I guess I've got to take the other side down. I guess I could have taken the whole thing down earlier. The cool thing about my new paper towel holder is you can mount it 2 ways. There are holes through it so you can actually screw it to a wall directly, or the way I've been using it is it's magnetic. So I've just been sticking it to the metal because superstrut or unistrut is, I forget which word I used. I go back and forth. Sometimes I call it unistrut, sometimes I call it superstrut. So I just use both there because I forgot what I called it before. Anyway, it's magnetic, so I could stick this directly to it. So it'll stick a little bit better if it's around the other way. So it doesn't hold very well this way. So that's why I'm doing this. So let me get this off of here, and that means getting back to this unreasonably big breaker bar that is just kind of comical because I don't really need this, do I? There's not really enough room to move this, swing this around. Okay, that was easy. And being that those are being held by old seatbelt brackets, this is solid. Not that I need it to be. The only thing I really need this for at the moment is to hold my paper towel holder. So let's see if that works. Oh yeah, that holds a lot better than it was holding before, so that's great. This paper towel holder is a little bit like the Camstein brand that I had in my old van. And the old one I bought from Walmart, and that was, well, that's like almost 10 years ago now I bought that. This one was suggested to me on Amazon, and I bought it as an extra. I needed a couple of things, and I just threw it in with the last order that I ordered from Amazon just to save on shipping, because I needed one, and I could not find a paper towel holder in town anywhere. I was in LA at the time. I ran all over the place. Nobody had paper towel holders anywhere, which I thought was odd. I think Target had one, but it was the type that stands upright. It was a wood one too, so I didn't have any room for that anywhere. So when I saw this, I figured it was close enough to my old one that I figured it would work all right. It does have a little cam system. That's why the Camstein one is named that way, so that it makes it easy to tear off one paper towel at a time. The thing is, this one is pretty much garbage. If I just saw this in person, I wouldn't have bought it. It's just really cheap, really cheap. And that Camstein one that I had before was made really well, although over the years that I had it, it was pretty wore out, so the little cam was wore out. So it wasn't too good anymore about holding back the sheet. You really couldn't pull one sheet at a time. You really had to hold the thing with one hand and then pull the sheet with the other. So at least this one works, but anyway, there it is. The fact that it is magnetic, though, kind of makes it a bit better. That it's I probably would have sent it back, honestly, or thought about sending it back with as poor a quality as this is, but because it's magnetic, I figure just doing this makes this so much nicer because I don't have to mount it anywhere. It just sticks with the magnet, so that's fine. And now the other little project. So I bought this hose on Amazon, which I'm going to need for a future project of hooking up my stove to my bulk tank. But this is the wrong fitting for me to use with the rest of my system. But I figured I could just adapt this because you can get adapter fittings quite easily. So this was a cheap hose, so this is not a terrible expense to have to buy some adapters for it. So I bought a 3/8 inch flare fitting with a 1/2 inch male pipe fitting, which is that's what it is there. There was a huge wall of these in all different configurations, so that took me a little while to find this. And then I need to go to this for the end of it, so that meant I had to buy a coupling. So that's this little piece here, which is a 1/4 inch female inside pipe coupling. So I just need to put these all together. And to do that, oh, let's see, I do have another fitting too. This one I already had this for quite a while with another little project I had, and then I just kept it because these are quite expensive. So this will go on the ends, and that will complete this hose and make it usable for me. So to put this together, I just need to use some Teflon tape. And yes, I know that this is the wrong Teflon tape. And yes, I talked about this recently. So maybe you should go back a couple of videos and look at that video where I talked about using Teflon tape. And no, I don't care that this is the wrong stuff. And yes, I'm going to keep using it because I don't have a problem with it. Okay, here it is. I've got the hose done and got the fittings all in place. Now remember, don't ever use Teflon tape on a flare fitting like this one. Never mind that it looks like I did. I would never do such a thing. That could be a problem. That could lead to problems. You don't need Teflon on a flare fitting. So that is all done, except that I do need to test this. Because this is a propane line, I will just test it to make sure that there are no leaks. And to do that, I'll just take some soapy water and spray it on here and look for some bubbles. And if there are any bubbles, then I know that I need to either tighten it up or take it apart and add more Teflon tape. But that's it. Don't really need to use this quite yet because I've still got a couple of green bottles of propane yet. I should just explain why I used the wrong Teflon tape for these things. And that's really quite simple. This stuff doesn't last. I replace these quite often. I think hoses like this need to be replaced once a year, every other year. And so I've found that the Teflon lasts as long as the hose does. Now, if it were going to last more than a year, I would probably take this apart and just reapply more Teflon tape to it. But I haven't found the need to do that because the hoses never seem to last that long for me. Propane will eat away on this type of Teflon tape, and so that's why you'll see people comment down in the comment section that this is terrible, this is the wrong tape to use, I should be using the proper tape. They do have a point, but that point is really meant for houses that are, standing for 100 years, and you're not going to want to get in and replace the Teflon tape. My van, nothing lasts that long, unfortunately, and so that's why I just buy the cheap stuff and replace it when it needs to be replaced. Well, would you look at that? That's a Ram ProMaster City. I used to own one of those for almost 9 years. I shudder every time I see one. Well, I'd like to go back to the park. We've got a little daylight left, so we might as well go enjoy the park a little bit more. And I can make some coffee and a little snack to tide me over until dinner time. Oh, this is cool. I'm parked over on the other side of the park. I don't usually park on this side. For one, I can almost never find a parking spot over here, but it's a little quieter since we're off of the main road. We won't have quite as much traffic zooming by us. Oh, there must be a party across the street there. Somebody's got a bubble machine running. There's a few bubbles floating up above the house. Kind of funny. Now, since I have not been buying tortillas lately, I've been missing one of my favorite things to eat, which are quesadillas. And since I have 2 tortillas left out of that pack I bought the other day, I might as well make some quesadillas for myself. It's a nice little easy snack. I've got some not traditional, I know, but it's some cheddar from Petaluma. Spent a little time near Petaluma this last winter, and all of last winter I spent in either Petaluma or Santa Rosa. So I have learned that this is one of the best cheeses I have found anywhere. It's one of my favorites. So even though it's not traditional, I'm going to use this for my quesadillas. Years ago when I first started living out of my van, I ate quesadillas all the time, both as a snack and a meal. And sometimes I would add, avocado or something to them to actually make them a real meal if that's what I was trying to do. But for a snack, I normally just do them just cheese. And back then, I used to just do them dry in a pan. I just kind of toast them dry in a pan. But now, I think today I'm just going to fry them off in a little bit of oil. I'm using olive oil here, but maybe, some bacon fat or some lard might be a better way to go. But frying them off is definitely better than just doing them dry, because that's better. They just taste so much better that way. Nice and crispy on the outside, and the cheese gets extra melty on the inside, especially when the cheese kind of oozes out and kind of fries a little bit around the outside into the oil. That's even better. I'm going to do these right, add a little more Yellowbird to these. I got my pan a little hot, so things got a little toasty, but the cheese did get melted. But this is especially good, adding a little extra good hot sauce. Well, let's get out and walk a little bit. We'll see if I can actually walk and hold my phone and my cup of coffee at the same time. How am I going to close my door? I don't know. There usually isn't a dog barking nonstop out in the distance out here, but you probably knew that. I have really missed this place. I would come out here every day if I could, and now that I am around, I just might do that. This is one of the places, I guess one of the dozens of places that I think about whenever somebody asks me why I live in a van and why I'm a nomad. Getting to visit places like this, especially in the good weather, this about explains it all to me. I don't think I have to say anything more, do I? Well, I have a rather important appointment tomorrow, so I'd better be getting down the road and find a place to park tonight and get a good night's sleep. So this will be it for me today. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.